women's campaigner or just a common sense campaigner for the fact that unfortunately those of us with testicles are not women, will never be women, will never have the bone density of a woman, will never have the joy of a period or childbirth. So I'm going to let her explain what she does and then hopefully ask a few relevant questions. And this is SOCO, by the way. This is a Christian channel.
Oh, hi. So we just, Standing for Women is my organisation. I also have a YouTube channel called Kelly J. Keane where I interview people. But I put a billboard up with the dictionary definition of woman and it was removed for hate speech. And then once you begin to understand the impetus behind that, once you begin to understand what's happening, that women's rights are being erased through not being able to describe what we are, and more importantly, children's bodies are being permanently altered at this new cult called transgenderism, then I think it's absolutely essential that we all speak up.
So I think that something for the family to know about is the fact that in transgenderism, the suicide rate pre-operation is around 42% or 40%. It's just been declassified from the DSM, body dysmorphia. Not the BDSM, that's a totally different subject, which obviously none of you know about. But also post-operational, where they're just men without penises or women with penises now, the suicide rate is pretty much the same. So clearly mental illness, clearly delusional thinking. So I guess what I want to ask is, it might seem a bit of a heavy question, but do you think the emergence of the drive for paedophilia acceptance, also the denigration or the dismissal of natural teenage development or like adolescence, do you think it's all one agenda or do you think there are separate
I think there's an agenda to destroy the nuclear family, to destroy particularly women. So if I were to believe that this movement is actually way back is a group of paedophiles, and what they want to do is they want to get to children, then the best relationship you sever there is between the mother and the child, because we are ultimately the protectors of our children. That is not to denigrate men in any way by saying they're not, but men are more protectors of their own children, and I think actually women are more protectors of children. And so that's a feasible thing. However, there's also the fact that paraphilias, like transsexualism, transgenderism, they're often accompanied by another paraphilia. It's very uncommon for a man just to have one. So that's another link with, and the most common is pedophilia. So that would be another link. However, even taking that, there are many other streams feeding into this particular river, and the beneficiaries of that will be the most abhorrent individuals. So paedophiles will gain easier access to children because of the trans agenda. Whether that's because behind the trans agenda is paedophilia is a completely different issue. But if you remove safeguarding, children will lose.
So when you say river, I heard sewer. Sorry, I don't know if it's my hearing. Also, so I guess that everybody watching knows that God made man and he made them male and female. That's not that's literally two genders, that's it. But the other thing to note, I think, is that transgender people are still choosing is a team, as it were, whereas gender fluid and non-binary people are another camp of crazy that I know of a man recently, I think, who got Woman of the Year in some category, but he only identifies as a woman part-time.
Philip Bunce.
There you go. Philip Bunce, potentially.
On a Thursday.
Oh my God.
That's why if I read the
7 and 9 only, gentlemen callers. Oh no, okay, stop. So how long have you been involved? Were you just a regular women's campaigner? No, so this is as a direct result of some transgender...
I've never done anything. I got married, I had children, I stayed home, I'm still at home. My oldest is 18, my youngest is 11. 5 years ago, I noticed something was happening. And I asked this question. I said, does my 11-year-old daughter have the right to use a female-only space and not see an adult penis? Now, you think that was an easy question, right?
I'm going with she has the absolute right.
So I was
Legally
called
protected.
a bigot, a pervert for making my daughter stare at people's genitals, that my daughter was clearly a transphobe, and that trans women are women. So even when you take, because it's a nonsensical belief, it's not true. If you take it to the logical conclusion, these people can't admit that there's any space in which that penis is not female. They can't say it.
Apart from at a DNA level, apart from in every other sexually reproducing animal on the planet, I don't think anyone says their dog can identify as a bitch. Like, potentially nowadays,
Certainly
actually.
not their breeders, they want to make some money.
Exactly, they get less money for those puppies. So I know of a case where two twins, one of them was raised as a girl and one of them wasn't.
Is this a John Hopkins?
Yeah, I think they were like a test case, and I think just the very fact that human beings are running these kinds of programs and tests is an indictment of just everything.
I think it was a circumcision that went wrong, so they decided just to go
Go
the
the
whole
whole
way.
hog or the whole female hog,
Yeah.
whatever you want to. Oh my gosh. Anyway, also I know of a guy, and I don't know his name because I wasn't really prepared, but he's an ex. He's an ex-pretend lady. He's an ex-transgender. Who knows? Bobette to his friends sometimes, Roberta. But yeah, so he was saying that the psychological input he got from the counsellors, because there's a prerequisite 2 years, was heavily biased, was assuming that his desired outcome was good for his mental health, was ascribing like feelings to when he was dressed in girls' clothing, as you know, all that. And now he's happily married, like as in heterosexually married, because obviously that's now a thing as well. Yeah, I don't know where to go with it. I just personally, it's a mental illness. If somebody's got schizophrenia, I'm not likely to go along with the delusion that the television's talking to them through the metal hat. I don't mean anything about schizophrenics because I know some, but without medication or without the therapy, there are delusions that crop up, and these same delusions have now infiltrated the mainstream to the extent where you can be, you can have the police knock at your door for asking, can a woman have testicles? I mean, it's a question.
I've been interviewed twice on caution
And that was
for saying that you shouldn't transition children.
you absolute trans. Right, stop this.
But the thing is, right, you and I'm an atheist, you're a theist. There's no compulsion. You're not trying to compel me to say your beliefs, and I'm not going to compel you. And the state's not going to have anything to do with it. So I could even say, I won't, but I could even
say what you want here.
But I can say repeated things to you about I think your religion is whatever, and be insulting and offensive, and it's still not illegal.
Section 29J of the Public Order Act gives you the right. It says the act will prevent the ridicule, haranguing, basically you can stress someone to the point of whatever, and it's their duty to walk away from you. Obviously if you're following them down the street, that's harassment. Like you can belittle, you can moan, but apparently nowadays you can't say that's a man, even if he's stark bollock naked being the key phrase in that. And I think it's just outrageous because eventually, I mean, my daughter thought, thanks for that, love.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
God bless her. My daughter, at I think it's maybe 5 or 6, she's going to kill me for this now that she's an adult. I think she was an astronaut for a week. I didn't send her off to NASA. I just thought, she's imagining that. So if she'd have come to me and said, Mummy, I'm a boy, I would have said, that's nice, lovey. Like, let's repaint your bedroom. Not, let's take you off to repress your hormones so that you never become either a boy or a girl. You just don't have anything. So in short, people, please support this ladies' organisation. Also support with your prayers. Wherever you can, post the phrase woman, adult, human, female, because it's literally a dictionary definition. And unless we're going to go down the book burning route, I don't see anything whatsoever offensive about it. Even if I was empathetic towards transgender women, it's still not offensive because they are trying to emulate that very definition. So I just don't get it. Have you got any closing words?
So I'm at standingforwomen.com. We are now going to be here. Are you here every week?
Every single week for Jesus.
So we're going to come every first Sunday of every month.
Lovely. Become religious, as it were. All right, thanks very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you.